Hello, welcome back. This is 3-3, um, estimating irrational roots. So first of all, we're going to do a quick refresher. What is an irrational number? Well, if from our first unit, we learned that irrational numbers are numbers that cannot be written as a fraction. So any number that is not a perfect root, a perfect square, perfect square, the square root of that number is not a rational number. In other words, it's irrational. For example, square root of 2. This is approximately 1.414. However, it doesn't end and it doesn't repeat and it cannot be written as a fraction. So this is an irrational number. Today we're going to learn how to estimate their values based on our perfect squares, which you hopefully have in your notebook. So let's do this question together. I want you to estimate 37. The square root of 37. So first of all, is it a perfect square? If you said no, then you're correct. It's not a perfect square. However, it's in between two perfect squares though. In this case, 36, 49. 37 is in between 36, which is 6 squared, and 49, which is 7 squared. So it's in between 6 and 7. It's somewhere in between these two numbers, the square root of 37. So now we just got to look at which one 37 is closer to. Is 37 closer to 36 or 49? If you said 36, you'd be correct. It's closer to 6. So we can estimate the square root of 37 to be about 6. Or on the homework, half the questions will ask which two numbers is the following root in between. So in this case, your answer would be 6 to 7. If you have these squiggly lines, it means approximately. So not exactly, but about. In other words, rounding to the nearest whole number, which would be 6 in this case. Let's do an example together. Another one example together. The square root of, let's do 23. So is that a perfect square? If you said no, then correct, it's not a perfect square. However, it is in between two perfect squares. It is in between 16, which is 4, and 25, which is 5 squared. It's somewhere in between there. Which one is it closer to? Well, it's 2 away from 25 and 7 away from 16. So it's closer to 25, which means that the square root of 23 is in between 4 and 5, but it's closer to 5. Okay, so now we're going to do an example. Hopefully you can do this by yourself. We'll do a couple, and then you should be able to do this on your own. Homework should be pretty easy. Okay. I want you to tell me which two whole numbers the following square root is equal to, is in between. Great. If you said 3 and 4, you'd be correct. 3 squared is 9, 4 squared is 16. 15 is in between 9 and 16. Now, I want to tell me which one is it closer to? Is it closer to 3 or is it closer to 4? If you said it was closer to 4, you'd be correct. 15 is indeed closer to 16 as it is to 9. It's 1 away from 16 and 6 away from 9. So the square root of 15 is in between 3 and 4, but it's closer to 4 because 15 is closer to 16 than it is to 9. So we'll do one more example before we end today's class. I want you to estimate square root of 68. Tell me which two numbers it's in between and which number it is closer to. Okay, assuming that you've completed this question, if you need more time, make sure to pause the video. It's in between two whole numbers. It's in between 64 and it is also in between 81. So that's 8 squared, 9 squared. Okay, so I want you to tell me which one is it closer to? Well, it's pretty obvious. It's closer to 8. Right? This is only 4 away. This is 13. So the square root of 68 is closer to 8. Let's see, 68 is about 8.246. So 246, right? That's closer to 8 than it is to 9. So that's all I have for you today. If any questions, make sure to ask. The homework is in Google Classroom and will be due on Friday. And yeah, enjoy.